page 8. All right. Do you still remember how to solve that kind of equation? Yes? No? Okay, so we are trying to get x out of there, right? So 3 plus square root of 2x minus 3 equals 8. To get x out of there, we have to get rid of things that's farthest away from x. What is farthest away from x on that same side as x? 3. So what do I need to do? Subtract 3. Square root of 2x minus 3 is equal to 5. What should I do next? Square both sides, right? Whatever you do to one side, make sure you do to the other side. So 2x minus 3 is equal to 25. Okay, you can solve this, right? Yes. Okay, so we're going to solve it. This one is all the square root questions. You have to be careful because you have to check. How do you check? Put it back in. Okay, so make sure that it still works. Sometimes it will not work. So be careful. Go ahead and solve it and check. Okay, so for the first question, the answer is 14. Make sure you double check this one does check out, so x equals 14. The second one, if you got to it, the answer is x equals 6. All right, and if you check it, it still works. All right, now, this question. 3 times x plus 1 to the 2/3. So we never seen this before. We're going to solve x as well. So the trick is, if you have a fraction exponent, to get rid of the fraction, what you would do is you would raise it by the reciprocal. So for example, this one, x to the m over n. What is the reciprocal of m over n? N over m. So what we're going to do is raise by n over m, because this way, this will cancel, and then we just get a 1. So basically, you got rid of it. Make sure you do to the other side as well. Okay, so this is the trick. You want to raise by the reciprocal, which is n over m. All right, so let us solve this question. 3 times x plus 1 to the 2/3 equals 12. Okay, what should we do first? What's the first thing we should do? Divide by 3, yeah. You always want to get the farthest thing away from x out first. So we're going to divide by 3. X plus 1 to the 2/3 equals 4. What's next? Reciprocal. So raise by the reciprocal, which is 3 over 2. That would get rid of the fraction altogether, so it's x plus 1 equals 4 to the 3/2. All right, we're going to have to simplify that 4 to the 3/2. So you've been kind of practicing that for a long time. Now 4 is a special number again, right? 4 is what to what power? 2 squared. Okay, so we can write this as 2 squared. So now we have a power to a power. It's much easier to simplify. So 2 squared to the 3 over 2. That cancels. So it's 2 to the 3rd. What is 2 to the 3rd? 8. Okay, so x plus 1 is equal to 8. X is 7. How do I check? Plug it back in to the original problem. So go ahead and check to see if 7 works. Does it work if you plug it in? No. Rula says no. And Daniel says yes. Okay. 7 plus 1 to the 2/3 equals 12. The question is, does it equal 12? Okay, 3 times 8 to the 2/3 equal 12. Well, 8 is a special number, it's 2 to the 3rd. So that cancels. So 3 times 2 squared, it is 12. So we're good. No? Yes? No? Yes. Okay, all right, let's have you guys try one. On this question, what should we do first? CJ, are you still, you're like zoned out. Okay, what should we do first? Subtract 1. 3 times 5th root of x plus 1 cubed is 24. What's next? Divide by 3. 5th root of x plus 1 cubed is 8. Now what? Can I change it to a fraction exponent? Yeah, x plus 1 to the 3 over 5. Okay, all right, go ahead and solve it. Let me know when you're done. The answer is x equals 31, and it does work. All right, let's try a different kind. Okay, let's look at this question. So notice on this question, it's different from the ones we just looked at. Okay, notice that the previous questions all look something like this. Like the question we just had before, this one was 3 times 5th root of x plus 1 cubed plus 1 equals 25, right? X only shows up once. If you look at this question, x shows up twice. Okay, so it's different. All right, but we're still kind of gonna do the same thing. So we're gonna solve for x. What do you guys think we should do first? Yes, move 5. All right, what should we do next? Square both sides. If we have a square root, we gotta get it out. So we're gonna square both sides. X plus 7 is equal to x plus 5 squared. Now what? Not factor, we're gonna FOIL. We're gonna expand. Okay, x plus 7 is equal to x plus 5 squared. Square the first term, square the last term, take the product and double. Do not distribute the square or else Jesus would FOIL. Okay, so x squared plus 10x plus 25. What's next? How do we solve? Yeah, how do we solve any equation? We always have to do what? We always have to make the equation equal to 0. That's how we solve every equation, right? Okay, so we're going to have to make it equal to 0. Zero equals x squared plus 9x plus 18. Now what? Factor. Yeah, what if you can't factor? Quadratic formula. Okay, but either way, you got to find x. So go ahead and find x. Make sure you go back and check it because one of them doesn't work. How do you check? You have to plug it back into the original question and check that the two sides are equal. Okay, let me know when you're done. The question, the answer to this one is x equals -3. -6 doesn't work. All right, let's try this one. This one has 2 x's. Not only that, it has 2 square roots. Okay, so this is a very tricky question. So the key is, you cannot have 2 square roots on the same side. You will not be able to solve it. You have to give one of the square root to the other side. So we're gonna add the square root to the other side. Okay, now because I don't want square roots, I'm gonna have to square it. I'm gonna square both sides. 2x plus 1. On the right, square the first term, square the last term, take the product and double. Square the first term, square the last term, take the product and double. But hey, I still have another square root, right? So I still cannot solve. I have to somehow get rid of that square root again. So what I'm gonna do is move everything to one side. and then do it again. Square it again. So basically the key is if you have one square root, you'll square once. You have two square roots, you will have to square twice. Okay, so I'm going to square it again. X squared equals 4x. 2 squared, square root x squared. All right, I need to solve this. How do I solve this? Not yet. Whenever we want to solve something, we have to make the equation equal to 0. So x squared minus 4x equals 0, right? And then what do I do to solve this? Factor. Take out the greatest common factor, and then make each one equal to 0. X equals 0, x equals 4. And then I need to double check. So go ahead and plug it back in and see if both 0 and 4 works. Do they both work? Yes, good. All right, let's have you try one. So this is pretty complicated. Let's go to the last problem on this page. Again, what you want to do is make sure the two square roots are not on the same side. Move one over and then square both sides. Further with this. Okay, so square the left-hand side, you get 5x plus 4. If you square the right-hand side, what do you get? 16. 16 is correct? Plus. Huh? Someone said something?
2 square root x.
Ooh, no. 8. 8 something. Square root x plus x. All right, I still have a square root. I need to move everything that's not a square root to one side.